Hello guys, this is Sir Renate Roldan again, and in this video I am going to discuss the domain and range of inverse function. Okay, so let me give you first the properties of inverse function. If the f raised to negative 1 inverse function exists, f raised to negative 1 is one-to-one function and f is also one-to-one function. It means that uh, if the inverse function exists, then the inverse function is one-to-one if the original function is also one-to-one. And the domain of the inverse of the function is equal to the range of the original function, while the range of the inverse function is the domain of the original function. Okay, let us find this example. Find the domain and range of the inverse function f raised to negative 1 of x is equal to 3x plus 2. Okay, so to find the domain and range, we are going to write this inverse to the original function, which is equal to f of x is equal to 3x plus or minus 2. So this is the original function of the given inverse function. So let us find the domain and the range of the original function first. So what value of x will make the function undefined? So I think there is no values of x or value of x that will make the function undefined. So in that case, the domain are the set of real numbers, or the domain x is a set of all real numbers. So dahil walang value ng x or walang value ang x na pwedeng maging undefined yung original function. So if the domain is a set of real numbers, and therefore the range is also the set of real numbers. Okay. So real numbers dahil kung wala magiging value ang x na magiging undefined yung function, so ang kanyang range ay lahat din ng real numbers or all real numbers. So these are the domain and range of the original function. So let us now find the domain and range of the inverse function. As we said in the definition, the domain of the inverse function is the range of the original function, while the range of the inverse function is the domain of the original function. Okay, so that the domain of the inverse function, ito yung inverse function natin, is equal to x such that x is an element of real numbers. On the other hand, the range is also the set of or the elements of real numbers. So since parehas naman yan, ang domain and range. So kahit kunin natin yung kanyang range, domain and range ng kanyang inverse, so parehas lang ang magiging domain and range nitong original and inverse function na ito. Okay, so find the domain and range of f of x equals 3x plus 2 and its inverse. Okay, so to find the domain and range, we are going to find first the inverse of the original function. Let us find first the inverse. So we change f of x to y is equal to 3x plus 2. Okay, so then interchange x and y so that x is equal to 3y plus 2. Then let us isolate y, interchange 3y plus 2 equals x. Okay, so 3y plus 2 equals x, and then 3y is equal to, we are going to isolate y so that we are going to transpose positive 2 to the right, it becomes negative 2. So then, isolating again y, so we have to divide this by 3, then y now is equal to x minus 2 over 3. Okay, so this is y, and this is the inverse of the given function. Let us write it in the proper form. F raised to negative 1 of x, equals x minus 2 all over 3. Okay, so this is the inverse of the given function. Okay, so this is the inverse of the given function. Okay, let us now find the domain and range. So domain and range of the original function. So alin ang original function? Domain and range of this function, ito yon. So tingnan natin, what value or values of x will make the function undefined? So there is no value or values of x that will make the function undefined. So therefore, the domain or x belongs to the real or an element of the real numbers. So while on the other hand, the range is also an element of the real number. So dahil wala ngang value ang x na magiging undefined yung function, at wala ring magiging value ng y na undefined yung function. So therefore, these are the domain and range of the original function. So ito yon. Okay, domain and range of the original function. Let us now find the domain and the range of the inverse of a function. Okay, so these are the domain. We have domain of the original function, the inverse function rather, is the range of the original function. So ano ang range natin dyan? Ang range natin ay ngayon ay yung x is an element of real numbers. Okay, so that x is an element of the real numbers. while the range of the inverse function, ito naman yung domain ng original function. So that R is equal to Y such that Y is an element of the real numbers. Okay. Alright, so these are now the domain and range of the inverse function, and these are the domain and range of the original function. Okay, so next example, find the domain and range of f of x equals x square root of x plus 2 and its inverse. So again, let us first find the inverse of the given function. So we have y is equal to square root of x plus 2. So then, interchange x and y. We have x is equal to square root of y, plus 2. Okay. So, we're going to isolate y. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nating tanggalin ito. Yan. So, it means that we are going to square both sides of the equation. Ayan. So, square both sides of the equation. So, if we square square root of y plus 2 square. So, we have to square this to eliminate the radical sign. So, this 2 can be cancelled out to the radical sign, so that x squared is equal to y plus 2. So let us interchange this para mas madali nating masolve yung y. So that y plus 2 is equal to x squared. Okay, yan. So y now is equal to x squared. We are going to transpose positive 2, so it becomes negative 2. So therefore, the equation for y is equal to x squared minus 2. And this is the inverse of the given function. So let us write the inverse in proper form. F raised to negative 1 is equal to of x, f raised to negative 1 of x equals x squared minus 2. Okay. So this is the inverse. Let us now find the domain and range of the original function. Okay. So what values of x will make the function undefined or irrational, or what you call this one? Irrational, or yes, irrational and undefined. So let us see if the value of x is negative 2. So negative 2, let's say negative 2 ito. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So we have the square root of 0 is equal to 0. So it means pwede pa natin gamitin yung 2 as domain. However, let's say if this is negative 1, let's say negative 1 yung x. So negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. So pwede pa rin natin gamitin yung positive 1. What if the value of x is negative 3? So let's say negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So in that case, hindi na siya, siya ay magkakaroon na ng imaginary. Tamang term, imaginary na yung square root of negative 1. So in therefore, negative, yung negative 3. So negative 3 plus 2 is equal to negative 1. Let's say yun yung value ng x. So magiging negative 3. Pinapakita natin kung alin yung number na hindi pwedeng gamitin as the domain. So lumabas na pwedeng gamitin yung negative 2 because negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So square root of 0 is equal to 0. Yung negative 1 plus 2 ay positive 1. So it is square root of 1 is also 1. However, if we are going to use negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, pababa, so hindi na siya possible na pwedeng gamitin since magkakaroon tayo ng imaginary like this one. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So we don't have square root of negative 1. So and therefore, ano ang magiging, let us take this one. This is the inverse. Yan. Ito yung original natin. Ito yung inverse. Okay. So, let us find the domain of the original function. So, ano ngayon ang domain? So, the domain is that x is what? Ano yung hindi natin pwedeng gamitin na domain dyan? Yung less than negative 2. Like negative 3. So, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin yung negative 3. But, we can use of greater, negative 2 and lahat ng greater than negative 2 ay pwede nating maging domain. So, ibig sabihin, ang domain natin dyan ay x such that that x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Kasi yung negative 2 pwede pa nating gamitin as a value of x. Okay. However, ano naman ang magiging range natin dito? So, pag sinabi nating range, ano yung magiging value ng y na hindi pwedeng maging value ng y rather. So, y is greater than or equal to 0. Dahil, halimbawa, di ba ang last na pwede natin gamiting value ng x ay, ang pinakang first value of x na pwede natin gamitin is negative 2. So, when you say negative 2 plus 2, ang least range natin na makukuha ay 0. So, 0. Ibig sabihin, yung lahat ng equal to 0 ay pwedeng maging range. At, pag ginamit natin, let's say, yung negative 1, so negative 1 plus 2, so negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. So, positive 1 is equal to positive 1 is positive 1 also. And positive 1 is greater than 0. So that's why ang range natin ay greater than or equal to 0. So these are the domain and range of the original function. So finding the domain and range of the inverse naman. So pagbalik na rin lang natin, let us interchange the domain now of the inverse of the function is the range of the original function. So x is greater than or equal to 0. So, saan yon? Nandito yon. Yan. Okay. Yung range ngayon ang magiging domain ng inverse at yung domain naman ng inverse ang magiging range. So such that R is equal to Y is greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay. Okay. So these are the domain and range of the inverse function. Okay. So I think we are done for now. So just always remember that the domain of the inverse function is the range of the original function, while the range of the original function is the domain of, while the range of the inverse function is the domain of the original function. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys learned something from this video. So thank you very much and keep safe everyone. God bless.